Hi, everyone. This is Rick Slark of Slark Consulting Group, and welcome to our Women in Business series. I am so excited today to be talking with Elisabeth Gelhar from Oak and Ivy Marketing Company. How you doing, Elisabeth?
I'm good. Thanks so much for having me. I'm
Oh,
excited.
yeah. Yeah, great. So Elisabeth and I have worked together, and I've known about her company for several years and knew about it from other clients that she had way before I met her in person. And now that I've got to meet her and work with her even, just absolutely outstanding business owner. She's got a lot going on and she runs a great, great business, which is why I wanted to talk to her today. So let's talk about your journey. How did you end up where you are today, owning a really, really successful marketing company?
Oh, thank you. So I would say my journey probably started 14 years ago, but not with marketing. I started my own photography business that has been a passion of mine since I was young. And I decided that I wanted to turn kind of like my passion into my job per se. So I started with photography, and I knew as social media was growing that was a great way to get that word of mouth marketing. So I was able to build a really successful photography business through my social media. And throughout that, I really fell in love with the way social media works, the connection that it brings between people through digital means and things like that, which pretty much is how the world revolves nowadays.
For
Um,
sure.
so I fell in love with that. And I remember coming up to a friend of mine who owned a website business. And I said, "Hey, do you think there's a market for this? Because I really enjoy doing this for other people. And I know in the past I have struggled with, and I know some of my friends have struggled with, we're in the day-to-day operations of the business, right? We're focused on our products, our clients, things like that. Social media consistently falls to the wayside. But unfortunately, it's like a huge marketing tool that, we miss out on when we're focused on everything else." And so he said, "Yeah, absolutely. We have lots of people that struggle with that. A lot of business owners, don't understand social media. They're not interested in social media, but they know the importance of it." And so that kind of turned into this like whole new thing. And so I started with my friends, kind of
That's
like
awesome.
photography, started helping out some of my friends and then growing it and just really diving deep into marketing and things like that.
So, oh, go
Yeah,
ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to say, and then I had the opportunity. So I'm in the Air National Guard as well.
Oh, awesome.
And I cross-trained from a previous career field in financial management into public affairs. And part of that is to align my personal career of photography in with my military career as well. So that encompasses photography and social media. So I had the opportunity to kind of go and learn more tips and tricks behind social media and really great ways to be professional about it and use it on a large scale.
Well, like I said earlier, I've worked with you and you are very, very good at what you do, very conscientious. And I can just say that from just my personal experience with
Thank
you.
you.
So talk a little bit about COVID. As a business consultant,
Yes.
I ran into a lot of business owners who didn't really have a digital footprint, or if they did, it was just very minimal. So how did that whole COVID-19 jumpstart or accelerate what you were doing?
Yes. So a lot of businesses didn't have a social media presence, or if they did, it was, just posting here or there, very inconsistent. And with something like COVID happening, it really changed marketing for a lot of businesses. We saw a huge uptick in, the need for social media, especially since you couldn't have that personal contact. For clients to be able to sell online and get their name out without being able to see people was huge.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So it made a big difference, especially in a lot of the older, smaller communities and things like that. It really helped the ones that were able to jump on it, really helped them thrive throughout that time so that they could stay in business.
Now, are you noticing that trend, that trends that were kind of started early in the pandemic are continuing
Yes.
now? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think if anything, that necessity of having to have it during that time kind of showed people the power behind using social media and being able to connect with followers and customers and clients.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask you a quick, what kind of mistakes do you see really commonly happening in, let's say, a company, smaller company or whatever, and they're trying to mess around with their marketing on their own? And what are like two of the most common things you see that are happening?
Gosh, the most common. So social media really is a very fine-tuned machine. And so there are so many different pieces and so many encompassing items that you have to take into account to have a really good social media, anywhere from quality graphics to how many words you choose to put in your content, whether you use an outside link or an inside link. So, I mean, I could go on for days, about all the different ways to make that work. But I would say probably the two most common mistakes that I see is one is inconsistency.
Yeah.
So if you think about social media as a wheel, turning a wheel, if you're consistently pushing that wheel a little bit and you keep it turning, you're going to see the results. Now, if you push it for a little while and then you let it sit for a while and then you go to push it again, it's much harder to get that wheel turning again. So being able to stay consistent, there's differing opinions on how often you should post, but the one thing that is common across the board is be consistent. If you're only posting 3 times a week, make sure you stay posting 3 times a week. If you're posting 5 times a week, try to maintain that 5 times a week, because that consistency really keeps that wheel going. And those results are what you see after an extended period of time. So you just have to keep pushing that wheel. I think the second one is probably not well thought out content. People think that if they post anything, it's something, and that's good.
That's me.
And what you post really matters. You really have to have some good bread and butter in there. And a lot of times people use social media, say, okay, I'm going to sell. So every post is buy this, buy that, I'm selling this, look at this that I offer. And that really tunes a lot of people out. Your content really should be providing value, developing a relationship with the people around you in order to get them to like you, to know you, and to trust you, to want to purchase from you or be a client of yours. So really taking the time to think through and provide value to others is a super important tool on your social media.
Yeah, those are great. Those are really good tips. And I know consistency is really hard for everybody. There's so much to do. And one of the things for me personally, when I first started doing some, posting and social media stuff, I was kind of under the impression that it would immediately gain traction and that I would instantly be known throughout the area or, with one post or whatever. I had this really high expectation about it. And what was really disappointing for me was that I posted 4 times and got very little response, and I was so disappointed. Do you think that has something to do with the consistency part of it?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, social media ebbs and waves. Not only does it take time to build up that momentum, your dreams are the big dreams of every business owner. They all think that it's the quick, easy way to market their business. And there's really a lot of thought and a lot of time that goes behind it. They say with consistent marketing, it could be anywhere from 60 to 90 days before you start seeing some really good results. And it could be even longer. So, and then also keeping in mind that, one week you could have some posts that do really amazing and the next week they don't. And it's nothing that like your content isn't any worse. You're not getting, farther or less reach or anything like that. It could just be that people were busy that day. We can't control that everybody's going to be on social media that day or everybody's going to respond to every single post.
Yeah.
And I think people are very easily beat down by not getting the results that they think that they should see. And so they give up, or they're like, well, maybe it's not worth my time.
For sure.
And I really think that with repeated, staying consistent and staying on top of it and keeping going, they're really going to see the results that they're hoping to see in the long run.
That's really good advice and good information there that you gave us, is just kind of stay at it and keep grinding away. So,
Yes.
so Oak and Ivy, what services do you provide for clients?
Sure. So the biggest one is social media content curation. So for those who just don't have the time to put into their social media, I can create all of that stuff for them. So I do everything from create the content, write the copy, schedule those posts out, respond to their followers and things like that, relay important information back to them if something comes through their social media page. So that could be anywhere from just posting a couple of times and filling in their gaps, or completely managing their social media 100%.
Yeah.
Some other things that I do is the photography side, so commercial photography. So if they have products or they have headshots or they need branding photos, things like that, I can come in and do that as well.
Gotcha.
And then copy. So whether they need website, something written for blogs or their website, or for a special that they're having or an event or anything like that, I can do those as well.
Gotcha.
I
Yeah.
do dabble in a little bit of graphic design, but not a whole lot, and some video as well, but not a lot of that either. But my specialty is more along the content creation side of things and
Yeah.
managing the pages.
Great. That's good to know. So if you had your ideal client, as we wrap everything up, if you had your ideal client, who would that be? Who would be the
Oh,
one you really like
you,
working with?
of
Yeah, of
course.
course. Yeah, exactly. Me.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
you.
me. Yeah. So for sure. But beyond, okay, so second, what would be your second best type client? Is it a small business? Is it a nonprofit? Is it a
Yes.
startup? Is it a larger company? Who best fits what you like to do?
So my passion is really into helping small businesses and nonprofits on a smaller scale.
Gotcha.
So I am all about making connections in a digital world. So how do we build your brand? How do we build your personality into your business and really connect with those that are closest to you, developing those relationships around you? My heart as a small business owner myself is to help those that are in similar situations where, we're doing what we're passionate about, what we enjoy. We want to see it grow. And we're using that, to feed our families or pay our bills and things like that. So those are my ideal customers.
Gotcha. Yeah, I love that. And that does come through in your work, for sure. So if somebody was interested in learning more about what you do and how you do it, the cost of things, where would they reach out to Oak and Ivy?
Oh, for social media marketing, I've got every avenue covered. Yeah. I have a website, www.oakandivy.llc.com. Email, and that would be oakandivy.llc@gmail.com. I have a Facebook page. I have an Instagram page.
You have it covered.
I've got it covered. You can even send me mail if you want to.
Yeah, and I will leave in the video. I will put the website and some of the information where people can contact you as well, so they can reach out to you. Last thought, how does it feel being a woman-owned business, and what do you see? Do you see a lot more women owning businesses? And talk to me just briefly about that.
Yeah, so I would say that I take a lot of pride in being a woman-owned business. One of my other passions is really about women, helping them kind of gain footing and doing what they love to do and growing the businesses that they love. I think that's really important.
For
So
sure.
I'm glad that I get to be a part of that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I really love downtown Springfield, for example. So when I was in high school, I worked at a coffee house in downtown Springfield that was in the marketplace. And
Oh, yeah.
back then it was a lot of abandoned buildings, really. There were some sprinkles of male-owned businesses. I'm not sure if there were any women-owned businesses that I'm aware of at that age. But it's been really cool over the last, we'll say 10 years. It's probably been longer than that, but we'll say 10 years. It's cool to see all of the big changes that are happening down here and all these women-owned businesses that are coming in, and the changes with the buildings and the construction, and just what an amazing job, that they talked about back in early 2000 of what they wanted to see this become. And now to see it actually come to fruition has been really cool. And to say that I have clients, down here is also, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's really great to see, and exciting times. I'm really, really happy to see what's happening across the nation with women in business and really across the world. It's exciting to see. There's a long way to go for sure, but we are really moving in a good, favorable position, and I'm very excited.
Yeah, when you said
that.
across the world, it gave me chills.
Yeah, it's awesome. It really is awesome to see what's happening. Well, thank you again. Again, our guest has been Elisabeth Gelhar from Oak and Ivy. Make sure you connect. I will leave, like I said, a description in the video. So we're excited that to have you on with us today. So thanks a lot.
Thank you, Rick. I appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure. All right.
Have a great day.
You too.